All right. Hey, this is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast, where we share stories of people who use the three D's to success: determination, determines destination to overcome obstacles and challenges in their life. And today I have with me Mr. Aasson Esmie. Aasson is the Chief Executive Officer of XS Consultations LLC, a business consultations agency. He is a licensed insurance agent that holds both a PNC 2-20 commercial and 2-15 life and health insurance license. Aasson is a philanthropist, motivational speaker, life coach, entrepreneur, and a real estate professional. Prior to starting his agency, Aasson spent 15 years as an IT and telecommunications technician with AT&T and Diebold. He has also served as a technical consultant for some A-list organizations within the fuel and retail industry. Due to Aasson's varied background across multiple career paths, it has provided the perfect foundation for him to assist a wide variety of clients and small business owners in overcoming various insurance, sales, and overall operational challenges that businesses face. Aasson is a results driven and passionate about helping people live and operate at their fullest potential. Welcome, Aasson. How are you today?
Doing awesome, Sid. Doing awesome. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you on the show. And I would love for you to tell us how you use what I call the three D's to success: determination, determines destination in your life to overcome obstacles and challenges and to arrive at where you're at now.
Super. Uh, Determination. That brings me back to, I would say, close to 10 years ago when I made the decision to come to the United States, in quest for a better life. I had a degree back home, my home country, Jamaica, then, and I wanted to do another degree program. So I made a decision to make that transition. I sold everything I had.
Hmm.
It
Wow.
when you're determined to do something, it doesn't matter what comes in your way.
That's right.
And I was determined to get a first world country degree
Hmm.
as well as to build in a first world country.
Hmm.
Sold everything. Long story short, I started off at ITT Tech at the time, doing a degree program with them, and then made the transition into another program. But I was determined to start my own business.
Hmm.
During that time frame, my vision was solely to assist as many people as I could, and I wanted to start a business that would do that. So I started off in IT,
Okay.
which is everybody knows IT. It's either a network administrator role or project management and stuff like that.
Hmm.
While I was doing that, though, I realized that I had a natural knack of figuring out problems. And it wasn't just along the line of computer stuff.
Hmm.
During that time frame, I decided to start a little car dealership business because I needed to, earn while I was going school and everything.
Hmm.
So that was my side hustle at the time.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Fast forward a couple of years, it went well. One of the things that I like to say is even though you may be determined to achieve a certain goal, 9 out of 10 times Murphy's Law states that if something can go wrong, it's gonna go wrong when you least expect it. And I hit some roadblocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nerve wracking. I mean, there were times when I wanted to quit, and it's in those character building moments that you realize, okay, regardless of what's happening in life, regardless of the challenges that you're facing, you have to make a decision to say, regardless of all of these things, I know my goals, my visions, my dreams,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna push through. It takes grit.
That's right.
It takes a lot of grit to do it. So I did. And eventually, I pushed through all these hurdles. There are so many things that happened along the way. I mean, if you want to name some of the things list by list, I could give you a whole book of some of the challenges that I faced.
Hey,
But my
tell us.
destination, I had that in the forefront of my mind. I knew where I wanted to be. Definitely did.
And that's so important for you to know your destination and understand your why. And apparently you did. And the grit that you mentioned, the determination. Please tell us some of the things that you did have to go through. That whatever you can tell here on the show. We don't get. We're not X-rated, but I'm not totally censored either.
Okay.
But you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell anything you don't want to tell though.
All right. All right. Big example. I When I sold everything and started college, they told me that I could make the transition and work while I was on campus, and I'd be able to help pay for my school fees and all those things.
Mhm.
They made a mistake
Wow.
when that happened. So when I made the transition, I sold everything, all my money, used it to pay my first semester.
Mhm.
After the first semester, I went back to the dean and I said, okay, you said after I made the transition, I'm here. How can I work on campus? And she looked up my name again and said, Aasson, I think we made a mistake. So I said, I laugh. A lot of times I laugh a lot because you got to find the humor in things instead of taking it all personal. It's all perception. So I said, I'm sorry, what mistake did you make? She said, you're an international, and because you're an international, you won't be able to work on campus as we had expected.
Ah,
And I was like, really? Yes, I wasn't able to work on campus. They didn't have a job that would suit my qualifications, even though I had a degree and everything. So I had to basically find a job outside of that.
uh,
I taught myself how to lay bricks,
wow.
how to drive a forklift. I cleaned windows. I was washing cars for like $5 a car. I mean, I was determined to pay that school fee regardless. And
Wow.
whatever I had to do, I had to do it. Oftentimes, when you get faced with challenges, you have to figure out a way, okay, to calm down first of all and figure out, what do I do now? This is
Mhm.
your current situation. What are the solutions, or how best I can make this transition and get by? Because we're here. Life is always going to give you challenges. Regardless of what you want, there is nobody who goes through life without a challenge.
That's
And
right.
sometimes it's the challenge that makes us a better person,
That's right. Yeah.
builds character. But that's one of the situations that I went through. And I remember too, I had a business after, fast forward years after that, I opened a freight forwarding company,
Mm.
and I was moving a lot of freight. Business was good, and I had an agent that, you know, things happened, made an error, and utilized the company to move a tractor, a big tractor, and there
Uh-huh.
was an accident, and
Wow.
then that caused me to pay out for the claims and everything because I was to be held liable for it,
Mm.
and I failed. It cost me a lot of money, and I lost that business because of it.
Mm.
But I still knew, regardless of that, I was still gonna be able to either open another company. You can't let what's happening to you now define you
Yeah.
totally.
Mm.
It's gonna be a challenge either way you take it. Most of the successful people that we know now have all failed at some point in their life. They failed.
That's right. That's right.
It's part of us, but we gotta still push through. You know.
As Les Brown says, you will fail your way to success.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I say this to some of my clients too. Pain is relative. to a bodybuilder, pain is good. It shows that they're building muscle
Yeah.
and they can lift heavier and heavier. While to a lady giving childbirth, pain is not so good. But then after the child is born, the reward
Yeah.
of having a child is also different. So you got to be determined regardless of what's going on. Still
I'm
good.
sure the lesson that you learned from that particular business, the challenge you have with that particular business has served you in what in your businesses that you're doing now. That you everything you've done after that, that lesson I'm sure has served you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it brings me back to when I made a transition. I used to work with AT&T. I did 10 years with them, climbing poles, going underground, doing fiber work, all that stuff.
Wow.
And during those days, there were days when you would not know what job you were going to get. Funny enough, when we started a project too, it was only 20 technicians within that region when we started, all fresh. It wasn't just telephones.
Wow.
Knowing your project and your craft would help you figure out how to solve some of these challenges. And we did it for 10 years, extreme circumstances.
Wow.
But you have to be mentally tough. And some of these principles that we learned on the job, I'm able to now use them in my personal business or even with my clients as well. So either way, the challenges that you face, you can either allow them to break you or you can use them to make you.
That's right.
And learn from it. And that's one of the things that I took away from that job. A lot of folks would talk about the bad things, but I like to be more on the side of, okay, what could I have learned from this particular situation? Or if I did this, will this bring this closer to my goal or my destination, where I want to be? Because life is always bringing you closer to what you want. And I'm a strong believer in your thoughts become things.
That's right. That's right.
It's how you think about the situation that you're in that will either give you a solution out of it or create more of the same situation. Folks get stuck and and the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, I'm screwed. Or what do I do now? Because nothing is going to work. And if you keep saying that, the universe is going to say, okay, that's what you want. You're going to be here for a while. And the good book spoke about it. A 40-day journey took them 40 years.
Yeah.
It's all perception. So your thoughts, determines how you're going to build and start from there on. But I was determined though. I mean, you couldn't tell me no. Regardless of what happened, if I was the only one in the room, I'm going to make it happen.
Make it happen. Well, like you said, the no's just get you close to the yes.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And so this journey that you've been on, you're from Jamaica, you come to the United States, you get hit as soon as you get here, you got hit with a challenge,
Right in the face.
Yeah, right in the face. What are some of the things you advise people, your clients, anybody just asking you, in dealing with challenges when they're trying to achieve goals? What are some of the things you tell people? What advice you give them when they're on a similar journey to what you're on?
Well, there's a quote by Seneca that says, if a man knows not which port he sails, then no wind is favorable. And most of the times I tell my clients this: you have to first make a decision about what is it that you really want.
Yeah.
A lot of times indecision causes conflict, causes procrastination. And I've seen where a lot of successful people, they make decisions quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rule of thumb. So the first thing I say is you have to write down what is it that you really want. And after you make that decision to figure out what you really want, then we can break it apart and figure out how to help you get to that destination.
Mm-hmm.
Because success leaves clues,
That's right.
or there's a path to acquiring some of the results and the goals that these clients would have, or me personally would have.
That's
So I
right.
like to write stuff down. In the morning, you have to have a system that works.
That's right.
So you get up in the morning, a lot of folks, their habit is they're on their cell phone as soon as the day starts. And within the first couple of minutes, whatever you allow to be in your subconscious mind will also set a path, or allow the rest of your day to either be successful or not.
That's right.
So I say set up a game plan. Write down what you want, set up a game plan. I like to start my mornings with gratitude, because the mere fact that you wake up, that's something to be thankful for. Because a lot of folks, we know how it goes. Worse with what's going on with this pandemic, a lot of folks are not here. So I start my days with gratitude. Oftentimes, the day before, I'll either set up a goals list, and then I'll prioritize what I need to do first in the mornings, or what can be done later on in the afternoon. Now, for clients who have a goal, because I do insurance, but I also do business consultations too. And I'll have folks that come to me and say, hey, I want to start a business. When they do that, I'd say, what type of business you want to start? Say typically a landscaping company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say to them, okay, I'll help you get the entire structured organization going, and I'll put everything on paper. But before I get started, what's your vision of your business?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't basically think for that person and put my beliefs on them, because they have a dream of what their business should be. And I have guys that say, I just want to do tree trimming. They don't want to cut lawns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So from that, I know specifically how to structure their business.
Okay.
And I have CPAs, I have access to a lot of folks that are within those industries that I can help them structure their business and get them going. So it's like a one-stop shop.
Okay. Great. Great.
Most of the times, though, a lot of the clients, they don't know what they really, really want. And they'll start off with a vision of something, and it's based on what their family members say is good for them,
Yeah.
or what they see other people doing. And they get the idea and say, hey, I'm gonna go do this. But they're not really passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna be one of the determining factors in how successful your business is.
That's right.
If you're not passionate about it, on the mornings when you don't have that vibe, or you don't have the willpower to do anything, you're not going to get up and go to work, because it's just going to be a regular 9 to 5. So you have to be passionate about it. So those are a couple of the things that I say to my clients. Make a plan, get a full structure in place, write down what you want, and then we'll work from there to figure out, okay, this is how I'll help you get to that destination, so to speak.
Yeah. And you hit on something very important, that you ask your clients, what do they really want,
Yeah.
instead of them going with, like you said, some, what they're seeing around them, what they think is normal, what they think they should be doing. Getting clear on what you really, really want is so important, because, as you said, you have to have that passion. You have to have that strong why when you get up in the morning and you don't feel like doing whatever you got to do for your business. That why is what's going to bring you through.
It's very, very important, because here it is. You're in a position where, as a business owner, there are going to be times when you have to make the hard decisions. And if you can't make a simple decision starting off, when it gets complicated, what are you going to do?
Mm.
Oftentimes, you have to make a logical decision, or you're going to make a decision that's more passion oriented.
Mm. Yeah.
What if you have employees? That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Because I believe too, as an owner, you can be an owner who structure your organization in an environment where everybody benefits.
Mm.
I remember back home too, I used to be a technical consultant for Diebold. I did a lot of ATM machine works and stuff. And even though I was one of the lead technicians, nobody knew I was the lead technician
Mm.
because I didn't like to be in the limelight where I felt like I was over anybody.
Mm.
I was a team player. And it's the same principle. When you work together with a cohesive nature of everybody pitching in, you achieve so much more.
Mm.
And then you can leverage everyone's expertise. It's the same thing when you're running a business. The boss is not going to know everything. Corporate hires different folks for different areas. There's an accountant, there's a HR personnel, there's technical staff, there's a bilingual person. Everybody creates the whole company. And that's the same concept. So you start off doing one business, and through that, you leverage the efforts of everybody else. You have some guys, not just for landscaping. I mean, I deal with so many different clients. You have to be well rounded because I can't have a tunnel vision too of, okay, this is what I've been doing for 10 years. This is going to work. That's one of the challenges that I face. Most of my clients, I have construction company guys that come to me. And I'm also in real estate. So there are so many different areas. Each one of these areas, it requires a different level of determination too to get those areas successful.
Gotcha.
It's an interesting field. Trust me.
Wow.
It is.
So in your business and consulting, what have been some of your biggest wins?
Wins. Okay. I remember one particular client. They had a vision to get their construction company started. When they approached me with the idea, they were still working their 9 to 5. From that vision, I said to the individual, okay, that's your vision. Let's get a game plan up. We're going to set up a 6-month to a 1-year game plan.
Mm.
Everything structured. And he stuck to that plan. The first contract that he won, I remember that phone call. I thought something had happened on the I-95 when he called me screaming. It's like, Aasson, guess what? I'm like, is everything okay? Yes, I got the contract. That was one. I've helped a lot of clients, but this particular one was one of the very few that came from a 9 to 5 environment and then made the transition because I helped him to quit his job, start the company. I did all his insurance, his general liability, excess liability, commercial auto. I mean, everything for his business. Got everything set up, handed it over to him. I remembered helping him do the first contract proposal, gave him some guidelines, and he won the bid.
Wow.
That particular bid was one that changed his life. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. It's because you're planting a seed and you're helping one individual to also feed their family or help their family. So it's not just getting them to start their business. It's a generational thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses now, rule of thumb, the numbers say within 2 to 3 years is the most challenging times for any business owner or business. After, if they've made it past the 3-year portion, then they're doing something correct. But most of the times, within 2 to 3 years, they get most of the challenges that will either make the business or break the business. And he's going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
So it gives me a sense of gratitude to say, okay, he's not just the one person that I've helped, but one of the biggest ones. And today's date, he has sent me a lot of referrals. I've helped a lot of people from there. So that's one of my biggest wins,
That's great.
helping his construction company
Uh,
to grow. You know,
that, that
keeps
that
you going.
that sounds so great because you said what you were able to help him with didn't just help him make some money. It changed his life. It changed
Yeah.
his family's life. It changed generations
Yes.
in his family life. You know,
And that's why we're here. I believe that's one of the reasons why we're here. I think everyone here has a gift or is here for a purpose.
that's right. Right.
Each one teach one. You know,
That's a good.
help as many people as you can within whichever field that you're a specialist in.
Yes,
Get
indeed.
the word out.
Yep. Yep. That's got to be an awesome feeling. You know.
Yeah, I keep it. Actually, I have here on my desk no negativity
I like that. I like that.
as a reminder
Yeah.
to keep me going, because there are days when it gets rough. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it's all cakewalk.
Uh,
There are days when it gets real rough, when you have clients that you really want to help them and you realize how hard it is or how challenging it is to get them back going. I do final expense insurance too, and that's another area that I'm passionate about, because it's not just the consultations for businesses, but final expenses. For instance, somebody who doesn't have a life insurance policy and they're over the age of 40, between 40 and 85,
mm-hmm.
and they want to get like a small insurance policy just in case something happens.
Mm-hmm.
There is enough funds there to help the family deal with the burial or pay off for medical expenses or transportations and stuff like that. And that's one of the areas that I'm really passionate about, because our generation, sometimes we don't take things seriously enough. And something happens and then we realize that they have to set up a GoFundMe account or
Yeah.
call family members to say, hey, I need help to bury a loved one. And I think it's really unfortunate when that happens, because the family can't even grieve properly. They're
right.
grieving both financially and also that they lost a loved one. So I do that on the small scale too,
Mm-hmm.
to help families come up with a small package just in case something happens, to help them out.
That's great.
So I'm
You know,
all.
in your field of insurance,
Mm-hmm.
what are you seeing, especially from like you said, both the entrepreneur and the family side? Would you say that insurance is one of those things that people fall short on really dealing with?
Yes. Yes, 100%. And I've seen it to the point wherein there are a lot of things, the whole insurance per se, there are different types of insurance. And I think people get the misconception that insurance is just to be used if a person dies,
Mm-hmm.
for life insurance purposes. There are so many other aspects of it. There are investment portions. We call them IULs, which is Index Universal Life Products.
Mm-hmm.
And these are a lot of company owners. They'll purchase these policies and they'll use the funds from the business to help pay for the policy. And it sets up a plan wherein at the age of retirement, they're getting paid now tax-free, because insurance is one of the products that you get the benefits tax-free, because you already paid into it with tax-free dollars, because you paid taxes before. You're not going to be taxed twice.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that a lot of folks don't know. So in your younger years, you purchase, say, an index product, you're getting average, we've seen in the field now, 13 to 14% on average in between.
Wow.
When you're, say, 65 and older, that policy now, even though you took it out 20, 30 years as $1 million policy, you have enough funds in there to help you when you retire.
Mm-hmm.
There is also insurance for business owners. We call them key man policies. So you go into a partnership with, say, two people, and either or one purchases a policy on the other. something happens to one family member or one of your business partners, they pass away. Now, the policy will pay the other partner the benefits to help keep the doors open.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another aspect of it. Insurance, say, for instance, homeowners, that's another aspect. A lot of folks, they don't know homeowners policies is not just in case there's a hurricane, you replace your roof and you can repair the structure.
Yeah.
There's areas of that policy that protects the homeowner if, say, a visitor comes over and you have a small little dog and the dog bites that person. And I've seen it happen where it's a guest that comes over, it's your friend, and you end up getting sued because of a dog bite,
Mhm.
because there's a liability section of the policy that pays 100,000 or 300,000, and they file suit, and the insurance company is going to pay them for it.
Yeah.
So there are so many areas of insurance that is either lacking or that's necessary.
Yeah.
Protecting yourself, you're insuring against the fact that something can go wrong.
Mhm.
And that's most important. Building, regardless.
That's
It
right.
could be, there are so many areas. A lot of folks don't take it that seriously, but it's important. It's definitely very important.
Well, Aasson, as we get ready to wrap up, please tell everybody how they can get in contact with you and know more about the services that you provide.
Okay, so I can be found online. My website is xsconsultations with an s.com. So it's just two letters, xsconsultations.com. And I'm also on Instagram. It's Aasson_XS as well. For real estate, I also have the avanagroup.com. All my contact information forms are there. Telephone number is easy. 561-542-8317 is one of my business lines. I'm open to any meeting via Zoom, regardless of where you are, because I'm not just doing and helping folks in Florida. I'm licensed in 14 states, and I have access to over 32 different carriers right across the United States. So wherever you are, really, I could actually help to grow your business or protect your family or help you with coaching. I do coaching as well. So if you need help getting your vision and your destination set up where you want to be, I'll help you get there. And I'm flexible.
All
Just let me
right.
know whatever time. I'll be happy to help.
Aasson, thank you. Those are some very good services that you provide to people, uh, you know, getting their entrepreneurial vision together, making sure that they're insured properly, and just helping them, get a structure together for their business. And so, I really hope that everyone takes down your information and gets in contact with you because those things are very important. The services that you offer, and I thank you so much for being on the show.
I really appreciate it. It's a real pleasure being here and to share with your platform too. And I've looked at some of their other interviews, and I'm also learning as well. There's so much to learn. I think all of us has something to impart on others.
That's right.
So it's a lovely show. Awesome program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being on. And this is Sid Owsley from the Determination Determines Destination podcast. The three D's to success: determination determines destination. And you can pick up a free gift on my website, sidowsley.com, about aligning your values with your goals. That's another very important aspect of life and in business, anything you want to do. When you have goals, you want to make sure that those goals align with your values. So you can pick that up on my website, sidowsley.com. Also, go to my YouTube channel, The 3Ds to Success. Subscribe, like, and share. Be glad to have you as a viewer, and maybe even as a future guest on the show. Thank you and have a great day.